we understand how dynamic the environment is, very, both technology and creative arts. But we think that the way to go will be, to work with those who are actually in the industry, those like yourselves who are putting in their money, putting in their resources, putting in, their time and energy into this, and trying to do our regulations in such a way that we are competitive with, practically with anyone else in the world. So what we've done so far is that we've been looking at what the specific issues are, and there are quite a few. There are those who want to know about what we're doing in terms of intellectual property protection, investment guarantees, and all of that. But I think that the most important thing really is that we have a government and a lot of those who work in our agencies who are determined to work through this day by day, piece by piece, to make sure that we get the environment right and we get the right type of investment, the right type of investment environment. And we're quite happy to continue to engage with everyone who is here. And we brought, as you've heard, especially from the financial sector, we're prepared to match your investments in some respects if you're making investments in the country and all that. Just also very quickly to the question of the treaties that we've signed. I'm not so sure whether the gentleman who asked is still here. But we're signatories to the major intellectual property treaties, both the Paris and Berne Convention. And we're also signatories to practically all the investment treaties. We're MEGA members and all of that. But I think the most important thing to bear in mind is, and I can offer this, free advice as a lawyer, is that because you are not necessarily doing business with the government, it is more your agreements, your bilateral agreements are probably more important. The agreements that you draw with whoever you are going to be doing business with is more important. Making sure that you have the right arbitration agreements and all of that. So once that is adequately provided for, we have a robust enough, commercial law adjudicatory system that ensures that disputes are resolved properly and all. So I don't think that there is much to fear about how protection of intellectual property rights in that way. But one of the things we've been talking about is that there's a great deal of piracy, especially piracy of CDs and stuff like that. And one of the discussions we've been having is around how to use technology to outflank pirates. And we think that technology is probably the way to go. We've looked at several options, and it appears that might be the way to do this. We're also, of course, very interested in many ways deepening our infrastructure, especially broadband and connectivity and all that, because we think that mobile telephony is going to be one of the big ways, especially for distribution of film and all that. And we're convinced that with the kind of population we have, with the size of our population, we must find ways of getting film and getting content onto mobile phones, and also working out payment systems around that, because we think that that's the way this is going to go. So we're also interested in the technology around all of that, and in the payment systems around that as well. And we think that these might be areas where some might be interested, but we know that in the next couple of years, that really is where a lot of development is going to go to. And we're very anxious to get our regulation right, to get all of our laws in place, and to ensure that we're able to attract all of you who want to do business with us, especially those of you who are coming from other countries. As for the Nigerians, we're of course actively engaged with the local industry. And one of the reasons why we have the advisory council, which takes into account many of our local investors, local artists, and the local entertainment, crowd generally. We think that this, we'll just keep working with you, with our local people, to ensure that we're engaged and that we are able to give the very best we can in terms of our regulations and in terms of the environment. So having said that, I think that all there is left to say is, again, to thank you all very, very much for the time you spent today, and to say that we're still here, we're ready to engage with you, and if you have specific questions to ask, we're very happy to answer those questions. And several of our agencies and regulators are here also, and they'll be very happy to answer your questions and to see if there are possible engagements and all of that that you think are important to make. We'll be happy to do that as well. Thank you very much.